game a call so between West Ham and Chelsea. Yen him say no Chelsea kwa we could win 5-1. I believe a good result said the match Chelsea and na who be here say Chelsea back ko win this game we no me winning ye most especially say Chelsea first game omutina fi against Crystal Palace. Nyoman ko yan fama Chelsea bobuko no. So going into their second game na who be here say Chelsea bit menya sa victory way net me asa the confidence and believe na sa babo buku ni mu biem. Ken yebo game ni wie no. Me share a lot of commentaries, a lot of comments. Yes, West Ham team ni na nya ade na Chelsea akotwa form so. Ana West Ham mpokura Sunderland na shane 3 Chelsea shane 5 a nye news. Enti Chelsea and shada nye bibia. I was like, wow. Say yebo game wie. Now what na se now your critical analysis ah. Team no win ye no. Ubehu effort ni adwuma po ye. 5 na Chelsea ko share no. Enya se West Ham team no that poor to the extent say Chelsea ko ya no ko share 5. Chelsea adwuma den ana omunya asa 5 no. Se Chelsea ko ye ana omo so kokko omo ho a. Chelsea ko ye ana oman kokonko den a nka sa 5 ne mba. So Chelsea awashe 5-1 against West Ham no. The first thing you need to know and to understand here say then na Chelsea ko ye ya otimi ko say sa 5 no. Most especially say Chelsea SR boy without almost star boy Cole Palmer. And to know be a how Chelsea ebetima performing without Cole Palmer. Onbetima ye nyoma yana and to be honest with you adiena me de mani hu ye no. Me jetu mu say West Ham bobo ni nyebo bobo omo performance no suru bebre. Ba adiena me hu wo Enzo Maresca ni Chelsea bobo ni ho no. Na mani age e de ama Chelsea team no. So what check Chelsea a Chelsea first game omo boy against Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace about 5 back. Or city deep. Chelsea struggle say obebie Crystal Palace bobuku ni. Enra game no. That was the mentality and the approach of West Ham. Say about 5 back. Yebe city deep. Yema Chelsea spaces. But the na Chelsea here no. And omo ma team e friend say West Ham. E look bad. Say omo will leave a lot of spaces. Chelsea nyoma miensa and e ko ye de ma Chelsea. The first thing I mean who ye e Chelsea bobuku ni no say Chelsea build up omu faces ni nyina no omu nya numerical advantage. Enra Chelsea use 3 faces in omu build up. Chelsea first phase of omu build up omu shase from echiro. So the first phase of Chelsea build up omu build up. Omu back 4 no omu boy no ebe than 3 back. 3 back no play obe leave sa 4 back no e ya branch defense Malo Gusto. So anytime be a Chelsea be check omu first phase of omu build up na se no Malo Gusto e free echiro ho. Na occupy the right wing go. Na ekoka Chaloba. Tosin Adarabi you ana Kukureya. So sa 3 players no ana be the first phase of omu build up na se. No man invite Kaisedo say on be join the first phase no so. So anytime be a Chelsea be check omu first phase build up na se no Chaloba e operate as a right center back. Kukureya e operate as a left center back. Na Tosin Adarabi you eso so operate as a sweeper. Na o man invite Kaisedo say obey the first ball receiver. So Chelsea first phase of omo build up no omo ye 4 players. Sa 4 players no e for say West Ham 3 forwards ne say owo so omo close omo. And West Ham 3 forwards no e Pakita, Fulkrug and Abrante friend say Bowen. So we check Chelsea for a first phase of omo build up. Chelsea e wo Kaisedo, owo Kukureya mpachoko wachi. Chelsea wo Kaisedo, owo Kukureya, owo Tosin Adarabi owo Chaloba. E 4 players against West Ham 3. West Ham 3 near Pakita, Fulkrug and Abrante friend say Bowen. So the first thing I be to see what Chelsea build up near say, omo first phase, omo numbers, 4 versus 3. So the first phase of Chelsea build up in game no, Chelsea enya sa numerical superiority no. That's the first phase. O better case adi and say Chelsea build up from omo Chelsea numbers. The second phase of Chelsea build up no mfimfin ho. And now say Malo Gusto akwa occupy the right wing area ho no. Emma Estevao move by inside ebe operate as a right midfielder. So anytime be a Chelsea be chance say some be build up bia no Estevao embo as a typical right winger but operate as a right midfielder. So Estevao become midfielders no ho. And now say Kukureya operate as a left center back no. Enzo Fernandez join the attack no operate as a left midfielder. then Caicedo sa ho. So anytime be a Chelsea bedroom fin ho in their second build-up phase biano, Chelsea were Caicedo or Estevao or Joao Pedro or Enzo Fernandez a 4 against the two pivots of West Ham. That's Susek and James Ward-Prowse. So in their second phase of a build-up, Chelsea saw our numbers than West Ham. So first phase our numbers than West Ham. In the second phase our numbers than West Ham. And Chelsea third phase, the final third. The final third, so Chelsea senior numbers. Chelsea attack here. And I'm saying Malo Gusto joining attack, Obedane a right winger on the right side. Pedro Neto on the left side. So Chelsea two wingers anytime you attack you Enzo Fernandez and I'm seeing an opportunity to search forward or joining attacking front then Estevao joining Enra Chelsea idea Enzo Maresca ya manage one say Obo Dilap as the number 9 and Obo Abrante friend said Joao Pedro as the number 10. Rose ayedema sa two players near say Dilap ebema mo boss present. Na Dilap ase jina West Ham defender baako so. Na a creative space e de ama Estevao, Pedro Neto and Joao Pedro. So anytime be a Chelsea be attack biano, Chelsea saw our numbers our the final third or Malo Gusto or Pedro Neto or Joao Pedro, Enzo Fernandez or Abrante friend said Dilap and or Estevao. So anytime be a Chelsea be attack biano in their third phase or sour numbers and almost second goal no a clear example of the Chelsea a course no so which I case second goal na ken second goal na Chelsea share no and now say Dilap pretty omo boss presence na also pini West Ham for defender no anytime bia no adwuma na Dilap ye ne nkofo nhweye enura Dilap ojebo ni bia na o make sure say obe close down West Ham e center back baako eno na be create space e dia ma Joao Pedro and Pedro Neto. So anytime you have that space to run into, and to Dilap Peduma or ye pano, and Dilap and the operate here as the offensive pivots. But against West Ham, I meant to me and Yasadian because now about Joao Pedro as the number 9. Nasadian into me, but Ben Dilap no man as the number 9, or Momo boss presence, and at the same time, you were Pini West Ham for player bako. So a create a lot of spaces. Edema Brante friend say Estevao, a creative space, Edema Joao Pedro, any Pedro Neto, and a man Chelsea to me Yasadian. So the first thing I mean, notice you will give me here say Chelsea are also 5 no. Chelsea in almost phases of play, almost you saw 3 phases ni no. Chelsea in your numerical superiority over West Ham. I watch Chelsea bobuku no. The second thing, a constant movement and rotation. Constant movement and rotation here say Chelsea the ball now. Once the players need movie around because opponent no mo kwa no opponent no ebe na again say onbe mark Chelsea out, onbe come man to man. By now, say Chelsea a lot of rotation. Players will move from different angles, different zones, Say, oh, my key or more break. And Chelsea a lot of spaces. And go to a time. Chelsea Jibona. Caicedo na obo as a number 6, or drop a chira be operate as a center back. Na ama Joao Pedro na obo as a number 10, abejina number 6. And to see a case mark Joao Pedro na honorable number 10 na. I just also follow na ba deep. And it's a constant rotation and movement, and they create a lot of spaces. Edema Chelsea, not Chelsea, 8 million that spaces, 8 million bond the corner, and it's a what you could say 1,000 at Arabia, you are. Enra as a center back. Now, on a lot of line breaking passes. So what you 1,000 at Arabia passes are not the corner anymore. And now spaces are not a year in between the lines of West Ham, not a boy Chelsea Bobukuno. And you talk of Estevao, and will be a boy Estevao Abaso. Estevao, when your spaces now going to me pretty. Onim say na Estevao enya 13 final entries. Say yen fa ball enko West Ham box ni onya 13. No single player or Chelsea setup ni ma otimi nya final entries than Estevao. And Abrante no how will see it direct. How ne ball no productivity no was ro oje ball na unse ode ball ne ba be bibi and gradually osade by unhu football IQ na onim say with time Abrante ni betima pagya na so no wetimi grow to that level no so enra Chelsea, that constant rotation and movement, Ebwa Chelsea. The 13, Chelsea take key advantage over set pieces. Say Chelsea gradually, almost set pieces necessary. So what check Chelsea against Crystal Palace? Chelsea enya kone biana. Oma player baku ebejina first post and mostly Oyusu Kukureya. So player no baku to corner no. Or target first post a Kukureya jina hono. Na Kukureya afleke ball no e dia ko inside. And sa na Chelsea players ne be rane. Enti say what check Chelsea first game against Crystal Palace, almost second game against West Ham, almost the pattern of almost set pieces, most especially about corner kicks now, the same. Player ba kunjina first post. Na yem bobo and informal non-flaking na your players and running. And then Chelsea take advantage over that set pieces. And it's a what check your first game and your second game now. Clearly difference neso. Chelsea against Crystal Palace. Chelsea about 568 passes against Crystal Palace. On your 19 attempt to score. 3 penalty on target, 2 big chances, 1 shegu, and on your SG of 1.6. By any game at Chelsea boy, you know. On your 577 passes, emu 12 attempt to score, emu 7 on target, emu 7 say big chances, and on your SG of 2.74. And it's a what check Chelsea first game against Crystal Palace, second game against West Ham. Say clearly, Chelsea in their second game improve in terms of attack. And then they boy Chelsea no. Omunya numerical advantage omu trip build ups ni nyina no faces ni nyina no omunya numerical advantage constant rotation and movement and omu take advantage over set pieces no big ups to Chelsea ye hope say the number continue go na Chelsea concede in many anje ho onim say pakita go no na SG no 0.01 na enye go e wo say Chelsea na 0.01 and minim say nkofo be blame Sanchez. By Sawachekia, Nipa no lose ball, no coach in Pokra can Estevao. By Sawachekia, player Nank was so closely, Pakita was Kaisedo, not Kaisedo, and was slow down. And the creative space, no goalkeeper no swan yadie. But you know, Chelsea team redeem on Betche 5-1. A good win for Chelsea team, no. Ope Chelsea are now doing the credit Eddie Amano, men Kokasa West Ham team in Yadie. For credit, FMA Chelsea, and you'll be a bit to Mako West Ham fee. Aqua question 5. Chelsea acquire Sadiana. Now the Chelsea credit Eddie Amano. Enra wa Germany, Bayern HA6, Leipzig and Shebi. Ken Bayern team no, Maccabi Bray say a team bakwa. In terms of yen attack, yen create yen shegus, omu one of the best. Omu a lot of quality our offensive third. A team omu attack here, or Hurricane, or Michael Olise, or Serge Gnabry, or Luis Diaz, or Kimeka, or better distribute balls in the diamomo. And it's a Bayern Jebo now attack here. Creativity from the left, from the right, central. Every single channel Bayern to me attack it. And it's a Ukoshia Bayana. Yen creating yen goals or the Bemau. So what check Bayana last season or say 154 goals in all competition. And you most likely say how a Bayana shall see no. Goals or say in the last season no. Obetima sa doubles our goals in the game. How we met me a chance, you know. And a dear Bakwa many Jane say Bayern ekipu clean sheet. Can you say a 2022? Anytime be alive the best Bayern be alive the Eshe goes 80 Bayern. Bayern game the Bayern 90 Yama lives the can go. By Bayern share lives the Biana from 2022 Ebano. Say Bayern ebe renew so renew lives the Keshe go Benra omo prevent Leipzig from scoring. So at least some certain level of improvement without the ball. Aba wo Bayern bo boku nim. Ba ye ball game ni wie no. Hurricane obi ebo Hurricane abaso. The first game of Bundesliga wabot 3 goals. Keno nim say Hurricane okọ Bundesliga ne third season ye. Wabot 98 games. Wa say 89 goals. Wa mount 24 assists. Were involved in 113 goals and a diama Bayern. Mejitum say Obo Bundesliga Bayern was through. So Bayern are the likely to be dominating no e was through. By kin minu mienu nim say. Enye Bundesliga na be ma Hurricane ashe goals. Hurricane ewo Premier League ye target Premier League ne say omo top teams, omo top defenders no. Na Hurricane ewo Premier League no na o she goals left and right. Enti enye league na Hurricane akọ na ebe ka say Hurricane nim go che. Onim go na nkasa she dada. Ye were different types of strikers. Ye will be oye poacher. Ye were target man. Ye were auxiliary. Ye were inside striker. Ye were different types of strikers. But Branton and friend say Hurricane no can we prove what they say time without number or you be a clinical finisher. And last season now or say 26 goals. And then top scorer of Bundesliga no say enye plan beba you most likely say obesaji goalkeeper beam or Germany or ko ni nyina no 2 seasons ni nyina no waji goalkeeper first game 3 goals say enye plan beba Hurricane afema most likely say Hurricane be more than 30 goals e wo Bundesliga nim this season Bayern so shall see you Germany Arsenal ni list Arsenal first game one dominate bonya the best results. Okay, that's 3 points. Playing against Leeds, me expect Arsenal say obe dominate obenya good results and as usual say Arsenal dominate here onim said Declan Rice bit ma konanim Martinelli bit ma create chances Bukayo Saka be create men disrespect Leeds Bobukun by Leeds Echo Emirates no ebe extremely difficult for Leeds oba kwaje 3 match ban points game back so am expect you carry say obetimenya the first goal e my team friend say Arsenal the Premier League a win for Arsenal and Fulham and Manchester United with good record against Fulham away. The last time Manchester United they call Fulham fee lusu game no was way back 2010 2009. From 2010 Urban Manchester United away lusu or Fulham fee. Manchester first game olusu ye by ball na Manchester United boy no and my Manchester United supporters ni GDA any young for say ombetimi akwako wini against Fulham. Until the Manchester United debe here na say ombetimi nya consistency in omu gameplay. No metimi improve no my clinical say Manchester is here kan on fa nani nkoto Bruno nkwaso kunya ewo ho embuam wo ho Amad Diallo free bench ebetima ba besisa game no so Manchester ebo sa game no the ball Arsenal na o improve ewo the final third Manchester ba kunya good results Levante and Barcelona Ken we a story be say Barcelona ko Levante bia ehu eye no kre the last 6 games at Barcelona ko Levante fie no Barca winning just 2 elusu 3 a draw 1 eye grounds ba kwa Barcelona kwa or struggle by believe Barcelona be winning that game we onima de bi Barca last season or share 174 goals with 19 different players the first game or share 3 different players there na catch row e kire se eye go boku a nanim hofo ni nyina pe goals omo pe numbers Lami pe numbers Lewandowski be pe numbers Ferran Torres be pe numbers obi e pe numbers enti Barcelona na wo kwa we no ade a mehu ni ye say players no mo anim ho no enibre na mo di pe goals no and na be boa Barcelona a win for Barcelona a win for Real Madrid team no and no Italian Serie A so a onim say for the past 6 seasons obi antimi win the league in different day so pressure will be on Napoli.
But that's say the last 6 seasons we Italy we league on team in different Alderson
football a revolve and can send any bo football send any city football ase every 10 years bia esesa na it is good that say we in century we obi a open football we obi a dachi we open pass ubeye coach every year and I say years go by emre no esesa na football a revolve no you would have to go alongside it and yes sir obekech senya nia enkane ni yesi boy a ball defenders fa ball like and fa ho purpose na say let's get more goals the obesha goals do one na fa so won so no e revolve senya enkane ni yehye team a coach bia pe 4-4-2 number 9 and number 10 ss number 9 no owa senya be ya ball ni sim ten a de bia no oba peke a ball no e free throw and nei asesa me can ye see studio say you see acquire your first to share goals over the years coaches at Nancy are stopping opponents from scoring goals. It is a way a good coacher. How do you get goals from other sources? Because any time will be an open play with the best goal. So coaches started finding solutions. Senior Danny Dyer sits them yet technology finding solutions at the Mayeno. Sana football coaches finding solutions to problems. Sanity. Now, the last 10 years in here, Premiership clubs, La Liga, European top 5 clubs are investing more into set pieces coaches. Why do you so? Because say open play goals no eya kitwe bi so Sadia let's find ways of scoring and can na Stock City eya bi ba na atwetwe omo na Rory Delap enya throwing bia stock nyade but throwing is there or the best set pieces. Now there has been so much talk about the Arsenal set pieces coach Nicolas Jova, but the reality pay woman say mama ka sam kyeremo one say you were set pieces and you were corner kicks set pieces ase but ya can me no nyina bom but the difference the woman say last year and Arsenal na share goals do set pieces Once a danko 4 teams say Arsenal na the best team ever set pieces. That is not the truth. Arsenal are your best in corner kicks, not set pieces. Last year, their share set pieces goals power premiership. Now Crystal Palace, 15 set pieces goals, 10 of them now corner kicks. Arsenal has 13 set pieces goals. Now Arsenal then 11 of them and then corner kicks. In terms of corner kicks, I want to Arsenal Gina. Last year, Chelsea has 11 set pieces goals. Corners ya mako 6. Last year. Now a 6 corner kick goals from Chelsea. Afi ye biano Chelsea were 3. Now me can ye see assembly so I betray my dreams because 2 years ago Arsenal started say almost set pieces. One of my bet Arsenal for traditions. Watch this. Maybe highlighting maybe the actual about the Chelsea team. No idea. Ken, Quavana Chelsea for Afano as the set pieces coach. You know, Chelsea for £1 million now. Echo fan if you bring food. Yet is the kind of tone. Now Chelsea a winning club World Cup. Picture be trendy. Now was a Mexican for check. Now I'm for him on a fan of Quavano. Now there is something unique in BSC or club World Cup. Chelsea for your corner kicks are no the 4 players. Plus Maku 4. Eko good corner kick corner ho. Can't mean ye no. Now for raise the question now does it make sense for Chelsea to do that? Say now who crowd here numbers our boxing. So why would you want to place 4 players there? On the place Maku 4 and the Kugu corner kicks area. A club World Cup no. Now, the reason is say Chelsea and long or born short passing, say nebeya obenya overload or the corner area because on your overloader or your place 4 or your 1, 2, 3 passes he's good to go. Kent's next one. He's good to go. So that was the whole idea. It's 4 players in year. Now, let me give you an example in the Club World Cup. Even against Benfica, it was Chelsea corner case or boning in Mama next one. Sana Netsi. You're premiership in Imuno against Crystal Palace. And the Chelsea for realizing say 4 players on the ball corner kicks, say opponents, no winning also so at the 4 players echo. Then Chelsea will use it. My child, she said this is a sign. My man no against West Ham United. Now, you see what Chelsea does? On West Ham United, and so the same players Marco saying the 4. Eddie be blockade Chelsea. Corner kicks, send a Chelsea for M1 shots. Na o hwe baby a package na wa o hwe television so na 10 no e ho na makukurela gina. Until you ask yourself say then na makukurela de bia ball no na flick no baby o gina ni how after the Chelsea be ball corner kick no. Now si Chelsea be ball na makukurela na gina essence now teams are preventing Chelsea from doing the short passes with 4 players. Makukurela no ebe move about begina the first point. Now, enra nkomo na emesre enra me hu ade bi about the Chelsea team. He ade Arsenal for year Chelsea for complain sa say Chelsea for susu ye bi. Mami go on na me nkyere wade. Na Ken wanka sa for verdict Fabra. Liam Delap.
Ofa keeper na chana usum no.
We dey wanka maybe some wanka say obi a kyere na bi.
We dey bia we Chelsea na obetima ka so ofa keeper na chi. Ofa na chi. Itwem. Because at this stage I saw more Makokore and Liam Delap. But he beji sene ba no. Referees no man o man hu bibia sa.
Honestly, say coaches ni yes smart and I was say VAR for ni extremely smart.
Because they say Arsenal my team sitting na obi a ni abre. Obi a be because
obi a target goalkeeper.
To keep an near holding Kakrabia.
Fouls. See, it is something now the teams are taking advantage of. So far, I think it's been so good. Last game against Crystal Palace, Chelsea ball 11 corner kicks. Nina no regimes about a so. And at this time around 1.7. Well, football no sanity. Back in. Nini name and little observation kakra about the Chelsea team. Say no adia efe I am me adma about this Chelsea team. They say how Chelsea builds up. No? We all know the numbers before Chelsea a year build up 3-2-5. But every single game almost the same structure. No. How many times haven't we mentioned say Chelsea Marco Cucurella onu mom na okoka anymore for and now Marco Cucurella in the entire 90 minutes he was playing as the left center back. SSI. In do 3-2-5 no the personnel nipa no a ebema 3-2-5 na ye every single time it keeps on changing. And I think say it is good. I bet watch Chelsea because say no, who map up strategy against Chelsea? You are mapping about against one individuals being a map up again because you might think say Marco Cucurella ebe overlap. Aba be can 5 players na Chelsea ni mo no. The next game on can no jina center back wo, which is extremely good. But for we learn Estevao ne dey Ken. You see, enyo bia ne team create via passes. Baby, I will learn Estevao and run no Jinan because of Malo Gusto. Malo Gusto was operating more of a right winger. Chelsea Gutabola in possession. Malo Gusto operated as a right winger. Not just say Estevao no. Ebe Jinan fin wakakra. Baby o Jinano brony from half space, right half space. Na ehono mostly number 10 for no. Aya no the passing and the creative chance. Because one so one in pass here, which me the create chance easily. But Estevao there no na one day in your pass. But so no offer ball. Now or the ball pianwa or special talents. Well, let's see. There also be Manchester City in the Tottenham Hotspur game in home. Look, 21 games in the last 4 games. Say about 4 games away had. Between Tottenham and City, not 21 goals APM. A chess of goals between these two teams. ACDB City Asha 9 and 1 Etihad, and Tottenham Asha 12. Let us go for Tottenham for that City so recently. Pep Guardiola teams are all struggle to beat. But we Liverpool Asha and tenor and yet Tottenham Hotspur. And the City boogie side Liverpool Tottenham Hotspur and City about Tottenham bill. Now that is where the fear is. I've been monitoring the Tottenham Hotspur team because of the obvious Mohamed Kudus. Now Ken, last year, Ange Postecoglou team, you know, it wasn't that they were a bad team. Tottenham last season, no more ball pa. But Ange a too stubborn with the tactics to say. Send me see ball high line na me ball means sanda irrespective of the opponent. It was Shanwa on Sasan. It wasn't as if say Ange Postecoglou not a bad coach. He wasn't a bad coach. Name him the stubbornness to stick to one tactics. Was Shan 10 or better not the same tactics. That was his problem. Into Thomas Franco ever fast him. One of those things are now I was on my catcher and say, look. Yendimu senior we see someone based on the games, you know. Yes, half am against Bayern Munich. I watched the Tottenham Hotspur team. I'm like, coach Nico BM against Bayern Munich. Bayern Munich won 4. And who says a source? It's against Tottenham Hotspur. 4-3-3 now ball against Bayern. Also San and Sano called 5 against Paris Saint-Germain. Let's just say, what's the San and Sano team, you know? Depending on the opponent, so o feel so on timiwa o defend it. So feel so bet timiwa no be game no wabo. Inti or your coach on son and son based on the game. Inti ene possibility say some fall line up no be who 5 at the back. I will not be surprised. Say Tottenham above 5 at the back, meaning say a counter attack any set pieces and only be go ashe. One team people talk less about and say Tottenham was for 4 center backs, you know. Danso, Kevin Danso, Osunwa Pau, Van de Ven, Osunwa, Christian Romero, Eba Ebo Ofa, Bentancur Ofa, Matassa Ofa, Palhinha. These are tall guys. It is or a defensive in his game, set pieces plays major role, which Manchester City struggle with. About set pieces, it is a problem. However, City strengths in the passing games are short passes, you know. City on Sasan and on Sasan against the Wolverhampton Wanderers. City, you know, among forces City share for but there are so many things that now it was against Manchester City. But the result is what people normally talk about, no problem. But you see, against Tottenham Hotspur, no, so short passes, no, say City lose pass back on FIFA. That is where the problem is. And normally Tottenham Manchester City a City passing game and a Tottenham press or much ball no at the free with him. And I'm expecting more goals. A goals na me expect, but City will probably win against Tottenham Hotspur. Fulham name Manchester United game, okay? Me pese ye shade bi kakra. I was just calculating Manchester United under Ruben Amorim, the Premiership games are wabo. 7 wins, 6 drawn games, 15 losses. We lose 15. Na se u lose 15 na a soccer ball statistics. Because for a coach to say 28 Premier League games or 27 points. Sunderland cry a bepamu. But you see, the kind of GDA any space a Manchester United sporting directors no board no Ediama Ruben Amorim no he needs to pay them back. Because this statistics any other team they will sack you. And then Graham Potter won't pen up no statistics type way Biana Ruben Amorim doesn't say Manchester United. First game no Obian cancelled because United played well. So the season starts against Fulham. Against Arsenal. We expect Manchester United to do same and even play well and get the results. Fulham for no ken. Adie baako aye almost strength in the second half. Se wo say Marco Silva substitution. Na Rodrigo Muniz. Anasa Harry Wilson and a free bench ba. Ko for no free bench baby on be shegu. Fulham strength no. Ono bebo Joachim Anderson, Kevin Bassey, Ryan Sassanyo, Tete Kendi. Omu nyina be defended very well. But in the second half, Rodrigo Munoz from last season play bien or washa goals keshe a China from the bench. 8 goals, 7 goals. Who you only free one? Harry Wilson. Into these are 2 players. A time will be able to ba on be cause problems at the teams. It is a way Manchester United. Now analyze this Fulham team and you know say their strengths is their substitutions when they come up in the second half from Michel Gola. What it means to say make sure say you start a game no kill the game. That is the easiest part. Because someone confront carry game no ko anymore. That is where they are dangerous because Adam Traore mu ebe free bench aba. I feel say Manchester United should make sure say you start a game no first half 2-0, then you can relax and play your normal football. Levante, Barcelona. These are games with all due respect. Senka and just say one analysis. But another Hansen Flick won 3-0. He was very angry. Catch a place they say you be first round or no. Either son or Madrid mu bebree. And also say results now when you know and your confidence obetinya can say leg no betinya because Barcelona say first half of the season it was so much me BM gap ni mu kakra so that they can relax and concentrate on the Champions League. So every single game is important to the Barca coach. Now against low blocks teams no and they are a problem kakra. And now against Mallorca coach ni Yifemi Lopez Efremuntem. No problem. I have always said, say, player behind the profile. So what team? Next team near high line. And that's a mid block. Next space is our Femi Lopez at one day a space. Oh no, the strength a Mikatuo. Chaos game. Na born na akwa na aba. That is a strength. Name so opponents in the city deep. You don't need players that use space to play. You need players that uses intelligence. That is why I say Salo blocks teams, the best player for Barcelona should be Dani Olmo. And then, or you fully fit. Say Dani Olmo, you're fit. And now Pedri, you're fit. Meaning, say Barcelona can create more chances against Team FN Levante. I have no problem because of these players being fit. And now Madrid ball Sasuna. A pass ball 721. yet they created just one chance.
Alonso Bo.
Na passes no na dodo na akọ sideways because Osasuna so ko go ichire. Na fixtures ni favor coach ne pa because say what Osasuna wi obebo Real Oviedo. These are games that Madrid the year pre-season. But they need to learn and learn quick. Another team a besanso city block, low block no Real Oviedo. Madrid by then a break is hard defense because and now no mistakes are a see against Osasuna Ninyan. I am expecting Sadia no Ensanso NCBU. That is the game we are going to watch. I am going to watch how Jabi Alonso ebe breaking because Real Oviedo with all due respect today. And now no crowd Villarreal bomb 2-0. I don't expect it to be a game. Maybe you say Madrid they question, but I'm going to look at how. And the Madrid be fast so I shall go. My last one, let me fancy.
Okay.
Real Madrid Jesse na almost omon print say Franco engo echire no. E wase kire kakra. Sanka me na mabeto me Jesse. Sika na me dia Madrid. Inti me pese ye kire Franco go echire Madrid wo efa ho ben. Me go metu ahun sika dia ma. But the club says that you cannot do that. Inti se ope Franco Mastantuano asemwa. Instead of we writing Franco for you, we write Mastantuano. Supporters ne so say, but that is the club policy. Now, the reason is say, you see, over the years, Mibisa Madrid, any Barcelona supporters cry na yebo General Franco. Hey, General Franco don't be boy Madrid. General Franco there, I or your unity na Madrid for we need trophies. You see, ya can't walk and nipa do na GD. See, and now against Osasuna, time and Franco must stand to one bad game. So what say ya? Now supporters need him Franco, and penny for no cry. Catch up. They should not be shouting because Sardine Franco no. Almost someone person bet because it reminds them of General Franco. Plus, if you don't know the just 1 minute about it, on send Spain for a monarch. Say be family for no mona a shokro no swa ne drew maybe General Franco mu ebe tu omugu ye ebe take it over. So be take it over now. It's General Franco there or 1930 to 1975 on and there was so. And no share so in fact that time no na Madrid for share Barcelona 11-1 no. That time no na General Franco insisted say Barcelona for they cannot use Catalan for language. Omuntumi use Catalan flag. It is that period no. Na Franco Gina Barcelona for no so pa. It is that time it was like any General Franco use Madrid any oppress Barcelona. Into people up to today feels say General Franco was against Barcelona. And he was in favor of Madrid. But Madrid corridors, Madrid history, no. When him say Madrid Ankasa, they fought for Republicans against General Franco. Omo presidents are now no only General Franco. It is all come Madrid abakwa some pass so. Almost so feel say General Franco and one win didn't ye because I want a time. And umbeyi Sadi Royal Nifris Macancho say Madrid near from Real Madrid because of Ken Alfonso and the two almost. When General Franco came, they removed the Royal and I say the Real Madrid need the free ho and maybe former Madrid FC. And after World War no so ben rare. In Madrid Ankasa they've also had their difficult times under General Franco. But who be one Barca fans do one we ask them to do one few say General Franco ne be boa Madrid. But in the history of Madrid period the pan no it wasn't in the early 30s, it was in the 50s. But what I say in Madrid there almost a sardino with all due respect, they respect the man, but because it reminds them of Siba. Nipani will be a woo you can go and buy your jerseys, but please
must to you know.
Ubet me Prince Franco no abonte on the only problem be and yes but Madrid's official story.
Madrid decision
not tolerate
on Franco must entreno Okona so per Franco omo imprint Franco name because of General Franco years back and no history and Edelson the Amamono and yes I name no kwa me sambo other names as you see how quiet so Madrid had your mom print side no our official store name the big one Franco General Franco Mastantueno say Biggie one bit me akwa Mastantueno we the ton John Krenye ye because they know what master why the women I don't know na mami misa way Biggie na to awon sem na mami Bayern front 3 no front three bi wo wiase a bro mo de no so ana Luis Diaz na Michael Olise and Harry Kane omo de me nsa we no mame players no Bayern for no omo front three no wahwe ni
yes
obi de no bro no omo de no so ohwe Barca de no ohwe Madrid crowd is almost the BCC.
I think
City, Chelsea, Arsenal.
I'll go for Barcelona, Paris Saint-Germain.
PSG front three, Kvaratskhelia, Doué, and Dembele.
And Lewandowski, Rafinha,
Lamine, and Harry Kane. My part of former Luis Diaz and Michael Olise. And
honestly speaking, anytime be a Harry Kane, say she goes to the Bayern Munich biano. You're Manchester United fan. I am sure say it takes you back to certain times I chem. Make certain times I chem because say maybe a chemwa. Ebianka Harry Kane by this time wouldn't be playing for Bayern Munich, probably because of Kwana Manchester United fast word to die certain transfers. Obefa Van Persie de free Arsenal de naba no ababa be sia kind de amano right strikers in the English Premier League going to big clubs like Manchester United no what all happening in the past. Can as we speak Harry Kane has been a big bank our Bundesliga nim after Lewandowski left Bayern Munich Tokyo Kakraba be da ho Bayern Munich made a mistake no mo ye and say no mo fa Sadio money and na kwa Bayern Munich as a force number 9. And yet the Sadio Mane purchase na a mistake. But Adrena na touch no me to Sadio Mane no. No mo feel say at the point they will Liverpool thought about the force number 9. Into betimi abono aba be boa omo. But we heard the magnitude of the striker. Na o free honum na. Na we here typical number 9. Oh goals, numbers. So be gina sa position ne the amount. That was how come they had problems with Sadio Mane because goals na Lewandowski de man no ntimi mfamba. So after he left, Omo decided someone repeat some mistake in the Omo call for a typical number 9. Oh, you're proven. No, I'm the number be share our position no. And on befa Harry Kane. And me know me no be to say Harry Kane call and Kane. Why exceed the expectations? Harry Kane as we speak, about 64 matches in the Bundesliga and the Yama Bayern Munich can watch 65 goals. Our Bundesliga anymore. Out of 64 games in the Bundesliga, he scored 65. More than 100% record. So striking average. And clearly, this is the kind of striker we are talking about. Harry Kane share 8 hat-tricks. English Premier League. Looking at the number of years he spent in the English Premier League, can call Bundesliga anymore. 8 hat-tricks. Just like he did in the English Premier League. And the Diama Bayern Munich. So for Harry Kane, there, honestly speaking, he's a striker who will prove beyond reasonable doubt. Sergio Manuel. Luis Diaz on the other hand, first game for Bayern Munich, league ni mu. A man for Baba be share the other Bayern Munich no because you are a player. After no more certain players, almost feel some more top. No more the Baba be show mu team ni mu. Amo ma ye adwuma na omo anya no. Wo na ye ba be fall on. Na ye dis kakase ye ba be fa obaye. To whom much is given, much is expected. Etu omo he say player no mo born ho ka de ne buy no betimi live up to expectations ana. Until there was that kind of attention, a different kind of lens, and a number they call Luis Diaz. And fortunately for the player, one disappointed. We hit the ground running in the first game. Okay, 4 chances in the game. 4 chances no creative, you know. Emu 2 resulting in an assist. And my Munich Bobo. And we on one case so share back at the can. And this is the kind of performance of them are buying and renewing. It's everybody that watch the game, every Bavarian, Bia Ababa Benyasa confidence in the player. Send quality no one done with England, one done with Liverpool, name or the Abba Germany or the Baba Boaba Munich Bobo. And then to another player will lease. Ken Akwadane Bona or Bono. He should be counted among one of the best players in Europe. Sir Jamal Musiala ni hono moa. Yenim so na the creative spark de Bayern Munich Bobo. He's out injured. In games like this. It's no more other players or more standing to the test. There comes Olise. And the other players are any more honomo. It's on the day no talisman baako any honom no. You need other players who be speeding up the performance, or be double the performance. And players like Olis were there. 2 goals with another assist. And so honom. Clearly, this is the kind of players that Bayern team Nikita and can almost channel and the pressure Ebeba coach and so. Because the performance he gave last season, not bad. He won the league. But Bayern Munich to honom no. I do almost share every season and come in a Champions League. Because they feel that per players almost spending some year no. Almost blue team be also in the Bundesliga. If the Bundesliga no more or less looks like their best right.
But which me share Leipzig 6
yes.
In the first game they a big statement.
Big statement.
Now say omunya to Spurs, almost Spurs and 4.
Yeah.
But you won't Spurs in the PSG in the city.
That is
so far yes Spurs. Omo level now no she.
Of course.
Also more Germany but omo level now no she.
Nti supporters na nkasa de oje Bundesliga no mo a omo hu ne se wonya ahwe o they feel say per quality no omo to no omo standard be Champions League.
And this boy I think say one player will improve year be improve
seriously
Michael Olise I say year be and the ball they be count
quality player by all standard and he's always proving it to say they work on it for Bayern Munich they did extremely well. But coach is making sure the standards now all set, you know. Performance you last season anymore, or be keep up with that same standards. Ken, I know I'm a Chelsea game, you know. Now Chelsea game now I'm share, you know. Adia ba ko chere me and say there are certain players in football omo here time to get the best from those players. And say Chelsea bo game obi abo kukura ya din. And Chelsea bo game obi abo Enzo Fernandez din. And say Chelsea bo game obi abo Caicedo din. But these 3 players are mabo mudin ken. And the Chelsea team ni si omo nine so no. In their first season, our Chelsea bo boku ni mu. Me assure say na Chelsea supporters ndo do na nya akwanya na. Komo ma ye pamo sa players we. If Chelsea bo boku ni mu. It got to a point. Now man for me make Caicedo. Yeah, editing. Any jeans, any Chelsea jersey, any Timberland combat because almost you want to run our park and so. Just because say na kwadana bobo amana so any e Brighton and a Chelsea atam sika kese e di akwa fanaba. Enzo Fernandez the same thing. Na man for Bruno, a man for Sereno. Just because some feel the performance some be expect from a player, ya this kese aba be found on to be famba. But as we speak, in 2025, he's been the go-to man for Chelsea. Semuya ding at the match Chelsea bobo na. Enzo Fernandez the stand up at the match Chelsea. Jao Pedro Maba omo yomo dear, that is very true. Numbers and year bad since he joined Chelsea. But in 2025, if we January Enzo Fernandez was 7 goals and 9 assists. At the match Chelsea bobo no. Semuya ding on standing up the match Chelsea. Normal good performance at the moment. Kukuraya, the least said about him the better. But these were players almost first seasons. Now supporters need to come and say Yampamo. But when they adapted, and now na Chelsea team needs to organize. In the other clubs need that time, Kaka.
I think it's Bruno's operation. Who's the time of a report? Or can say now about through pain. It will be a normal injury, telling the journey. A man about matches. You cry because Massa Bona and I went to me mobile. But it's okay, yes, operation by no.
Oh, heal completely.
System and say Afano.
What? Even Enra, he didn't play the best of football. But Obe make sure says, "Well, I'm more him poor." I
think says instant na e wo Bellingham no. As one way zone and saying, "Ura boss no bia na naka ball no."
Okopego.
And ura boss no bia because opposition wo ye pa.
Yes.
Ball no be do no ho no obi anyina na nchen.
Debi.
And Sadia no, the last time I meet you, don't say a technical and also I can't win home because move your timer defenders be home and what time move your defenders and anything. It can be almost slow almost runs no or I say or call as or 90. The time I born about no where we are. But also be or no decam could not born about no decay. Ebasa defenders defenders in the home. And as Enzo Fernandez said
not ordained to do too much for the Chelsea club. On William Estevao, I am happy not because of Estevao, but I'm happy because of Chelsea. Because I'm because of Chelsea said last season, say Chelsea bobola. Now you soko palma mua. A bad day to other channels of Chelsea or Muketi channels.
Some coaching engine tomorrow. Coaching engine to Mukrao. One thing I said no kind. Was this assembly day? One person better cry.
And
no cressa ko pama your own best player. But last season, no Cole Palmer and they still qualify.
Sure.
Our Champions League.
Of course.
Into one more instances Chelsea are ball without Cole Palmer or more aboyi or more bobo na boni inti enrade no eka ho. Do you know be say yen central for you say a Cole's team or refer to Cole Palmer. But any sanity or more games ni be without Cole Palmer team that perform enforce Cole Palmer their own best player. It on pesa tag no mo be say on a team no because who is all your adwuma.
Sure.
Ebina elders and highlight CCA about set pieces. Quite Chelsea first we on build up on this. Ningina or your coach or this Anya neighbor games to be brave you su kukurea. Any a jumo de kukurea. It will game beyond your jumo the day.
Yeah.
Na ye yini idea free me the question one player say and one player. I won't say obeyoya. And to coach in a hanapa, Dimestra Munja Sasameka. Enzo Mariska.
Because no matter coach Juma or ye, coach Lankasa who hear the players to succeed. Who coach no more 9, more 5, more 2. And see, I am ranting in a Begina Park in so now. And a Bayer Juma the amount now who coach at the end of the day, watch your fans. And aside, Team Bia on a star player. Team Bia, I want a star player, and the key player, and you go to man when there are problems. I would team anymore. And won't mean catch out again about Moko Palmadine. So the coach you also understand and admit that. But back to the point. Say you saw Cole Palmer more and Chelsea bread. And that is a fact. But then, even with Cole Palmer on the sidelines, Cole Palmer on the bench, on your available, there is William Estevao. I will be creating chances in the amateur Chelsea Bobo. It's who a Chelsea supporter. When you just say you are getting other creative channels in the Chelsea team. Now, I'm conquer yes, it's a Chelsea bowl game. Now, if you so play about Kumwa, Chelsea benya problems, there be. And that is why I'm happy for the Chelsea team. They give a 5-star performance. Kudos to Chelsea. They only have to continue like this to get the best from everything. Ken, Atletico Madrid. Diego Simeone, man in Cote Madrid ne Barcelona echi. Na onfa ma poor performances na de bi onfa ne honni. There be. Yenim say Real Madrid so. Per the investment at Real Madrid bo boku ne ye. And the level and status of Real Madrid. Yenim say Barcelona bo boku ne so. Looking at their status, any Barcelona investment are oh yeah, any the kind of quality players they have, that is very true. But I'm one person me with different kind of love. And the coach your friend said Diego Simeone, because the kind of duopoly and also with Spain and your Madrid Nigeria and your Barcelona Nigeria. This is a man of breaking duopoly no between these two. But they have gotten to that point. The kind of performance of Real Atletico Madrid at times, we don't talk because of maybe away in the past. And the kind of teams are no more competing. But can I feel say Atletico Madrid as a club is doing enough for Coach FN said Diego Simeone to be giving them the best of performances. Clubs to start Atletico Madrid they can Ebianco to play and 50 million. What bros wa koneche Ebianca 60. But this is a club with 100 million plus. And the man said Jennifer to play a better augmented squad. But yet when these players come, the kind of performance are coaching the man. And knew the standard I'll be expecting some of the Bema. The first game in the league, Okobo Espanyol. Espanyol no Okobo no. Atletico Madrid led the game from the 37th minute. A boy out to the 70th minute, normally do 1-0. Espanyol made 2 changes. Not 2 changes, na baba betetika. I'm Atletico Madrid the losing game 2-1. This is not that Atletico Madrid we know. If you are getting the opportunity to be ball Elche, it will fear. Making sure so be rewriting the wrongs in your first match. Unless Bayern and Nihonum. Ultimately see a kind be. But at least Julian Alvarez last season he scored 17 goals in the Spanish La Liga. Alexander Solot. I know a bench warmer. But anytime he came into games for Atletico Madrid proving the worth, he scored 20 goals from the bench. And the man Atletico Madrid boku na attack where should be able to dismantle Elche. Elche team na yedi home common. They are going to come into the game with confidence because Ken almost first game against Real Betis at least Otimi will draw. And from the building upon that kind of performance. No the ababa be Atletico Madrid boku no. But minima the country was a Diego Simeone tenase. Na a team like Elche Babehano, the last 5 meetings between the two, Atletico Madrid are winning 4 in their last 5 meetings. Last season in the Copa del Rey, we shared 4-0. Their last 57 meetings, Elche winning 12 pay. Into way in your side after our first game against Espanyol, and we are game our over to the not such a side. What draw and after we lose against that side.
Atletico Madrid has to win this game and win well. I'm expecting possibly a 2-0 win between the two sides because Atletico Madrid in the last 5 matches for La Liga, they move your 2+ goals.
Okay.
It's at least 2 goals a day. And also Timina no carry the day. Kakebi on Arsenal. Mikel Arteta and Emranti and careful. It is not about the performance against Manchester United derby. We only listen to Kwakobo. But Obia or share Leeds United near Everton game ni Bibiano. Everton knew the standard of Arsenal. That is very true. But the kind of performance at Leeds United dined you know, a performance I was so. Arsenal pursue on your points, on your win, a game way more. On fan attention and flanks and so. There are 2 men on the flanks. Nonto and a Daniel James. Very pacey wingers.
Daniel James or that's so Daniel James. Minimum so but yeah, Daniel James.
The game against Everton ball or boy.
Because I'm crying almost see so England and a new one Daniel James no come about Manchester United and
only Nonto.
But United so must say players power na Mamen Kasa. Sir.
Because go for Baho Amfapa.
Go for Baho. Di Maria Kraba Amfa Di Maria. Angel Di Maria. Now when you Di Maria na Amfa I just say Adiana Yana Daniel James. Oh great.
Yes. And one player behind the striker Tanaka. These 3 men are dangerous. Arsenal inform attention comes on making sure some stop you.
And then one can the big guys in Buemo, Cunha, because Yami Atuma Sanko for na Romo, Cunha and Buemo. So say, Omu Benya di Muem Rekakra. Inti, what you say?
Omunko Bonche,
Buemo Cunha.
Omu Monche.
And Sesko.
Well, but they lost.
Na Sesko, yeah, Oshu Mono Yaso Bestate.
Can a highly possible so best.
Tibenya Saffron 3 no.
Yes. A highly possible.
United bit Mashebe. And who could try so be trouble United 4.
For the anoding.
Hey, Sesko Buemo Cunha.
For the anoding. For the anoding.
Me Fulham dear, me the team I'm sure more only Mokoba Mr. Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace, the found with team out. Omo de Omo Star, Omo de teams like a Bopa.
For the anoding.
Says I has 11 no. Nebasa, another stubborn club.
Syria no so. AC Milan. Has to be careful. I'm saying careful because South Fina Obo Cremonesia will be expected to be quite. But first matches of the season, the third Diana are very dicey. Teams in the lower division, they can cause upset and surprise at any point in time. But AC Milan quality Mukita players from Toto. Samuel Ricky, Abba, Luka Modric, I was squad anymore. So if you have this kind of quality, or Christian Pulisic, any possibly player a friend or Santiago Jimenez, anybody they attacking because
man register Boniface into.
Yes. So what's your coaching into so he sets up in the 3-5-2 system.
Okay. In
the 3-5-2, no the 3-back system. Now what tighten the defense? I'm a Hornmeyer strong. Now other departments, I with that kind of fluidity, any pace, any more. And they have to be careful. No more making sure. So we that win. No more a good start because coach, almost feel say was almost getting back to the glory days. No more Syria A Nibium, Eco Champions League. And until the mobile will be proven in winning the Syria A than a buyer. To just whenever one was settled well, no one good games. They are my second.
Biggie. And so at the end